welcome to the deep dive.
Good to be here.
So today, we're diving into some really fascinating source material that you shared. Specifically, a chapter that looks at uncomfortable feelings,
Right. The ones we usually try to avoid, maybe label as negative or signs we're doing something wrong.
Exactly. But this source suggests they might actually be signals, like positive signals,
Uh-huh.
that you're on the right path even.
Yeah, that's the core idea we want to unpack. Challenging that automatic link between discomfort and being unhappy or off track.
Okay.
The source argues these feelings could be guides, really, pushing us towards growth, towards real change.
So how does it frame that? It says discomfort pops up when you're close to a breakthrough, right?
Yeah.
On the edge of something new.
Precisely. And we tend to mistake that feeling for, well, unhappiness. Our instinct is often just to run from it.
Yeah, makes sense. Avoid the bad feeling.
But what if, as this chapter proposes, it's actually a helpful signal like, hey, pay attention, push through this, something important is happening?
Okay, I'm intrigued. So it's not about ignoring the discomfort.
No, quite the opposite. It's about understanding why it's there. And the source lists, I think it was 16 specific feelings or situations.
16, wow.
Yeah, 16 things that, from this perspective, aren't problems, but maybe signs you're actually moving forward, aligning with yourself.
All right, 16 signals. Let's get into them. What's number one?
Number one is feeling like you're reliving childhood struggles. You know, those old patterns showing up again.
Oof. Yeah, that feels like going backwards, doesn't it? Like you haven't learned anything.
That's the common take. But this source flips it. It says it's not failure. It's actually becoming conscious of the why behind those patterns.
Conscious. How so?
Like you're finally seeing the root causes, the deep stuff, but with your adult understanding now. And that awareness is what lets you actually change it. You see the foundation, not just the building shaking.
Okay. Seeing the structure of the loop, maybe, so you can step out like that. Okay, number two. Feeling lost, directionless. That's a big one for people.
A really big one. And again, the source asks, what does lost really mean here? It suggests it could mean you're becoming more present.
More present. How does being lost make you present?
Well, the idea is you're less attached to a rigid script for your life, less living in the future or the past narrative of how things should be. You're more in the now. And that feels weird at first, like you're off track because you dropped the old map. But maybe you're actually navigating more authentically, moment by moment.
Left GPS. More.
Yeah.
Feeling the terrain, even if it's a bit wobbly. Interesting. Okay, signal three. Left brain fogginess.
Yeah, like difficulty concentrating, maybe organizing thoughts, remembering little things.
Definitely had days like that.
So the source connects this kind of fuzziness to your right brain getting more active.
The intuitive side.
Exactly. Intuition, emotions, creativity. As you lean more into that, the linear, logical left brain stuff might feel a bit offline temporarily, like the power's being rerouted.
Okay, that's a cool way to think about it. Signal 4 sounds intense. Random bursts of irrational anger or sadness.
Feels like it comes out of nowhere, right? Overwhelming.
Yeah.
But the source says, well, maybe it's not random at all. Maybe these are important emotions coming up to be seen.
Seen.
Yep.
Like acknowledged.
Yeah. The task isn't to fight them or push them down, but just to become aware, oh, there's anger or sadness. By consciously seeing them, the idea is you start to process and integrate them. You gain control by noticing, not by resisting. They need attention to move through you.
Stop wrestling, start watching. Got it. Okay, number 5. Sleep patterns all over the place.
Yeah, needing way more sleep or way less.
Yeah.
Waking up buzzing with thoughts, big energy swings.
Sounds exhausting.
It can be. The source suggests it's often a sign your mind is just incredibly active under the surface, processing big shifts, new insights, maybe just operating at a higher internal frequency. Your sleep gets disrupted because your brain's working overtime.
Pulling an all-nighter on subconscious stuff. All right. Signal 6 moves to external things. A major life-changing event.
Right. And this includes the biggies like moving, divorce, losing a job. But also, interestingly, the source mentions even something like your car breaking down.
A car breakdown. How's that a signal of being on the right path?
Well, the point is that these disruptions, big or small, welcome or unwelcome, they force you off your routine. They force change.
Okay.
The event itself creates discomfort, sure, but it's that disruption that creates the space, the necessity for the kind of growth and realignment the source is talking about. It's the catalyst.
The disruptions shake things up so you can realign. Okay, I see. Signal 7. Intense need to be alone.
Suddenly finding socializing draining. Losing interest in other people's drama.
Yeah, wanting to just retreat.
The source sees this as vital recalibration time, a sign you need space to process your own internal shifts, find your own center again. Maybe you're becoming less dependent on external noise or validation. Your internal compass needs quiet.
Tuning into your own signal makes sense. Number 8, intense, vivid dreams you remember clearly.
Yeah, the kind that stick with you all day.
What's the thinking there?
Well, if dreams are how the subconscious communicates, then really vivid, memorable dreams, according to this source, that means your subconscious is shouting.
Turning up the volume.
Exactly. It really wants you to pay attention to something important bubbling up from below the surface.
Okay, note to self. Listen to the weird dreams. Signal 9, downsizing the friend group. Feeling uncomfortable around negative people.
And the source points out, often negative people don't realize they are negative, right?
Sure.
So your growing discomfort, maybe combined with not wanting confrontation, leads you to naturally pull away. Sometimes you just drift, ghosting old friends, maybe. It's seen as a sign your own energy boundaries are getting stronger.
Protecting your own space.
Yeah.
Okay, number 10. This one sounds rough.
Right.
Feeling like the dreams you had for your life are collapsing.
Yeah, that can feel absolutely devastating. Failure, the end of the road.
Right.
But the source offers this powerful reframe. What's collapsing isn't you, it's the old structure. It's making way for something better, something more authentic to who you are now.
So, shedding old dreams. Dreams that weren't really yours anyway, maybe.
Perhaps. Or dreams from a past version of yourself. It's clearing the ground for a reality that truly fits you today, even if the demolition part hurts.
Taking space. Signal 11. Feeling like your thoughts are your worst enemies. That internal battle.
So common. And the source suggests this happens when you start really realizing, that your thoughts create your reality.
That's a big realization.
Huge. And often scary. It might happen when you feel totally overwhelmed, desperate to get control of your mind. And in that struggle, you start to see you do have some power there. The enemy isn't the thought itself, maybe, but the belief you're helpless against it.
Realizing the struggle is the start of gaining control. Interesting. 12. Feeling unsure of who you really are.
That sense of profound uncertainty about yourself.
Yeah, like your identity is shifting under your feet.
The source sees that as a sign that old illusions, old ideas about who you should be are dissolving. You're in a more fluid, evolving state.
Fluid feels uncertain.
It does, but the source contrasts this kind of uncertainty, which it suggests often leads to positive growth with changing for the worse, which usually looks more like anger, shutting down, being defensive. So this insecurity, while uncomfortable, might actually signal you're moving towards authenticity.
The messy middle of transformation.
Yeah.
Okay, 13. Recognizing how far you still have to go. Seeing the gap between here and your goals.
This one has a neat twist in the source material.
Oh, yeah?
The argument is, you only become really aware of the distance left because you can finally see clearly where you're headed. That awareness means you've gained clarity on your real destination, who you want to be, where you want to go. So the feeling of, oh man, still so far, is actually proof you finally have a clear direction.
The discomfort confirms the clarity. I like that. 14. Knowing things you don't want to know. Intuitive hits.
Yeah, like sensing a relationship isn't right, or a job won't last, or what someone's really feeling, even if you can't logically explain why.
That gut feeling.
Exactly. The source calls it irrational anxiety, suggesting it comes from your intuition picking up on something real, but your rational mind dismisses it because there's no proof.
So the anxiety is the friction between gut and head.
That's the idea. Your intuition is sending signals, but your logic filter is blocking them, causing that uneasy feeling. Your gut knows, even if your brain isn't listening yet.
Okay. Pay attention to the irrational anxiety, too. 15. An intense desire to speak up for yourself.
Yeah, maybe after years of staying quiet or letting others dominate, a real fire in the belly about it.
What does that signal?
The source frames it as a kind of righteous anger emerging. Anger about being walked on, maybe, or silenced. This intense urge is seen as a sign you're finally ready to stop prioritizing everyone else's voice and start respecting and loving yourself first, using your own voice.
Self-respect demanding airtime. Got it. And the last one, number 16.
This feels like the big one. Realizing you are the only person responsible for your life and for your happiness.
Whoa, that's a lot.
It is. The source acknowledges it's terrifying. Because, yeah, if you mess up, it's on you. No scapegoats.
Right. Total responsibility.
But, and this is the powerful conclusion, the source asserts that accepting this complete emotional autonomy, this full responsibility, is the only path to genuine freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah. The risk of taking it all on, the source says, is always worth the reward of being truly self-governed, truly free.
It's quite a list. 16 signals. And that last one feels like it ties everything together somehow.
It really does, doesn't it? Like maybe all the other discomforts are nudging you, pushing you towards that ultimate realization of self-responsibility and authentic living.
So wrapping this up, this source material basically flips the script on feeling bad, right?
Completely. It takes these difficult, confusing, sometimes painful experiences and says, hang on, maybe this isn't failure. Maybe this is growth happening. Maybe this is alignment.
It gives you a different lens to look through when things feel tough.
Exactly, like a decoder ring for your own internal struggles, a way to see potential progress where you might have only seen setbacks before. That anxiety, that anger, that feeling of being lost. Maybe it's not a problem to solve, but a message to hear.
Yeah. And that brings us to the final thought from the source, the one for you, the listener, to maybe sit with. Thinking about that last point, being solely responsible for your life and happiness. Terrifying, yes, but maybe the only way to be free. How does really, truly embracing that responsibility? How does that change how you look at all those other uncomfortable feelings we talked about?
What shifts inside if you fully accept that your response, your path forward through these signals, it's entirely and powerfully up to you?